Do you guys like bitches with tattoos? Let me know in the comments below. I think it's ever since I was a little duck. When I would see a bitch with a tattoo, I mean, there's something, in my opinion, there's something dirty about it. All right, to the point of even through my teenage years in my 20s, etc. If there was a bitch that I knew and she had a tattoo, I would instantly write her off when it comes to any potential dating prospects. I don't know. It's fucked up, ain't it? But like, to me, dog, it just makes me think of like a little speckle of shit or something. Like, you know, she got on her arm. I mean, especially if it gets it around here. Like, you know, guys, like when guys get intimate in sexual relations, I know I don't gotta draw this shit out for you guys, but we tend to be kind of visual and we like to see certain regions of the female. And she got a tattoo somewhere, I'm gonna think it's some shit. Like a bitch don't know how to clean herself or something. Like it's gonna be like some intuition of to just want to rub it off before I progress, if you know what I'm saying. To rub that shit off. It's just gonna be a thought. But then it's gonna be like, oh wait, like maybe I even try to rub that shit off, but I can't. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, that's the tattoo, okay. That's the tattoo, Ice Boy. Don't worry about it. It's not shit. You know, it's not like bacterial matter of any sort. It's just ink on the skin. Like, that's just, I know some of you dogs might think this fucked up, but all I'm saying is I think there's like an innate reasoning as to why many are drawn away from those things. All right, when it comes to attractiveness and all that. And here's some more backing to that, dog. The three primary religions of the world, think about it. All right, like the leading ones, just Google that shit. You'll see like the three that have the most following in terms of sheer numbers. And they vastly exceed like 4th and 5th place, for example. So yeah, the three primary religions take up most of the fucking world when it comes to religiousness. They don't agree on much, right? But you know what, dog? They agree on them tattoos. They say they're fucking bullshit. But you know what? This video ain't about tattoos. It ain't about the bitch with the toad tattoo or nothing of that sort. It's kind of about that bitch though. Well, this is kind of regardless of whether or not she has a toad tattoo or whatever. You dogs, you gotta be careful out there. Like, men, it's easy for us to get infatuated with a bitch, to get, you know, obsessive with a bitch. A lot of it has to do with insecurities and things. Like if you know it to be true that you're a high value man, let's say, of course I'm not just speaking in reference to like having a very high net worth, but a high value man, I mean, we see it all the time. Bitches, they tend to like bad boys anyway. They tend to like broke motherfuckers, you know? So it's not really to do with money. But if you perceive yourself to be a high value man when it comes to your dating marketplace value, and if you know that you could have other options if you wanted them, you're not going to become as easily that obsessive, disgusting creature that women are repelled by. You know, obviously we all know it. Nice guys finish last, right? It's just the start of it. But what comes with that, being obsessed with the female and all that, I mean, obviously they're vastly deterred by it. And there's a lot of subtle nuances at play. And women, they're constantly testy, right? It's just in the nature. They're constantly testing for signs of weakness in a man. You know, how does he react to this when I do this? How do he react to this when I do this? What if I have a guy friend or something? How does he react to that? Or, I mean, there's endless examples. I really don't feel like thinking about it right now. But they're very testy dog. But the thing is, man, I think especially early on in relationships, men can be pretty vulnerable when it comes to making stupid fucking decisions. Like, a lot of bitches today, they come with a lot of debt. Like, what happened is, when they're like 17 or 18 or something, their parents, they sign them into debt, right? They co-sign them into debt. Obviously, the co-signer is essential because the bank is smarter than that. The bank's like, I can't give this kid a loan. The kid doesn't have any experience in life whatsoever. They went to high school or something. They just learned a bunch of worthless Marxist bullshit there. They don't know how money works. They don't know how the economy works. They don't know anything about anything, basically. So we need the parent to co-sign who has better credit. So the parent gives into this pressure and they sign their daughters into a life of debt, career-oriented debt, right? And god damn. So of course they go off to school, they have sexual relationships with multiple men, they get a little older, things like that. And sometimes they'll get a degree, and sometimes it'll be a career-oriented degree, sometimes it won't be. In many cases, it's not. In most cases, they end up doing something that has nothing to do with the degree that they received, that they paid for, that you still have to pay for. So after this life of debt that their parents signed them into, we got guys who later on, after the bimbo gets out of the school with all the debt, there's a dumb guy, and she's starting to wash up. You know, she got fat. She got kind of chubby. She's not fat, but she just, you know, she lost her innocence of her youth, especially, you know, things like that. She lost any sense of traditional values, things like that. And then there's a dumb guy who comes up who doesn't have the self-esteem that I was mentioning about the man with value. He doesn't have that, which is the majority of men. And the dumb guy starts to try to rule her. I don't know, maybe he meets her on Tinder or something. And then they start to date, and then 6 months go by, a year goes by, sometimes they move in together, and then the dumb guy thinks it's a good idea, and obviously they move in together in many cases, and the guy's getting what he wants out of her, okay? Let's be honest, dog. You know, who's the limiting factor in human reproduction? It's the female. You know, so the female is the desirable reproductive orifice. The male is disposable. So the woman knows that's in her value. I mean, in general, a woman could go out on the street and probably get sex very soon. Just asking around if she's a 5 out of 10 or greater. If you got a guy who's a 9 out of 10 or greater, he goes around doing such a thing, he'd probably be in jail within a couple hours. But nonetheless, it's going to be much more difficult for him to attain access to the female reproductive orifice. You know, the bitch is the limiting factor in human reproduction, okay? And basically, the guy, when he gets access to this and he copulates or whatever the fuck you call it, I mean, it's pretty much the game's fucking over. Right? The guy kind of getting what he wants. The woman living with him or whatever. You getting that? So there's an old saying. Have you guys ever heard it? The saying goes like this. Something like this. It goes, why buy the cow if the milk is free? Because then what happens is the dumb guy, he's already getting everything he fucking wants. And the institution of marriage or whatever, many would argue it's kind of one-sided. You can lose a lot of your assets, lose fucking everything, especially if you have kids, you're fucked. If you're a dude, but he's dumb enough to marry her then. And she has a lot of debt. He's marrying into that debt. And you gotta pay the fucking bullshit off. And you're marrying into that debt. I didn't think about that. Is that a smart decision? If you're the dude, you're already getting kind of what you came for. The cow, squirting out all that fucking milk, the cow's just gonna get fatter and older, uglier. Shit, it's gonna die someday. There's plenty of cows all over the fucking place. They're squirting the milk for free, but then you think you gotta buy the fucking cow too? You gotta fork out all that fucking money. You guys think that's a good idea? Let me know in the comments below. But basically, dog, like, goddamn, y'all gotta be aware of the bimbo who's in the hole. And to touch back on that, yeah, they're taken in their youthful years. Like I said, they sign them into a life of debt at 17 or 18. And they go off and away. And like I said, they generally, they'll start to indulge in those things mentioned, with other men and so forth. So you're kind of getting a used product. And what's fucking crazy is this used product is even more expensive than the nice new one. Which maybe took a different route in life. Which maybe didn't sign into a life of debt. Which maybe just started, working a general job and finding a partner maybe in the future. I don't know, things like that. But things ain't what they used to be, man. You dogs gotta be careful out there. It's not to say that there are some good ones out there, I think. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. But there might be some good ones out. I don't want to get you guys all excited. There might be some good ones out there. And you just got to be cautious. Because if it is a good one, it could actually be beneficial to you. And you have to use discernment and shit. Because it's actually a leading factor in basically household financial devastation. The relationship between the two, right? Is one a heavy spender? Is one brought into the relationship with a lot of debt? How are they in terms of contentment and peace with simple things or things that they have already? Are they going to be a benefit, an asset, even perhaps? Maybe an asset, I don't know. Are they going to be a benefit? In some cases, really, having a good woman can be a very good thing. Right? Who the toad doesn't want a little bit of comfort and love? A little bit of something close to unconditional, I like to think anyway. what guy, some guys can go without it. Perhaps we should be envious of such men. But the truth is, I mean, in general, it's nice to have someone who cares for you. Someone you can wake up to and see and talk to and all that. I mean, some of you guys are introverted as fuck, or you just like your privacy. I mean, hats off to you, dog. But I'm just speaking in general here, And a good vayman can be a great attribute to your life, but it's important not to jump into shit. You gotta try to think objectively. Don't let your emotions get in the way. You gotta be careful. Maybe she does come with a lot of debt, but maybe everything else checks out. But that's sometimes not the case. And today, in today's world, like it used to be, a household could thrive in general on just one income stream, one working person. Obviously, it was normally the man back in the day. Some fucked up shit happened, I don't know, World War II or something. Women get in the workplace, all this, all of a sudden it was super mixed. What happens when you get that going on in the workplace is it creates kind of it creates an environment that really sets up the probability of affairs and cheating. And it goes both ways. And you got a man and a woman. We get all ready for work, right? We wake up in front of our partners and we look like shit. This applies to women too, obviously. I mean, like shit compared to what we could look like, right? Some of them look pretty good when they wake up, but we don't look our best in the morning, right? Especially when they put on the makeup and all that. And the guys, they do their hair, they put on clothes, they put on a nice outfit, who knows? But so you wake up to that every day, right? And you see them in their worst. But then we get all nice and you go to the workplace, and there you are in the workplace now, not around your husband or wife, around your girlfriend or whatever, but you're around somebody else. You're around other women, other men, all looking your best, acting your best, right? It can be a very, is disillusionary a word? It can be a very disillusionary thing, dog. But you see what I'm saying? Is it really spikes that probability. I gotta quit this video, the card's about to run out. It really spikes that probability of something bad happening. So do what you can, dog. Stay out of debt, dog. And if that woman doesn't want to work, try to get her out of that fucking environment. Because who the fuck wants to slave for a corporation, or who the fuck wants to slave for anything? Try to find your way, dog. Don't get into debt. Sell that fucking car. No more credit cards. Cut that shit up. Hell yeah. I don't know. It's just Ice Boy's 2 cents. I gotta get off the video. Shit's gonna end. Peace be with you. If you want to support the Ice Boy, links in the description below. Looks like the card actually split in half already, the file. So, links in the description below if you want to support the Ice Boy. Patreon. Buy coffee. About to go suckle on one right now. Buy a cookbook, link in the description below. Hell yeah. Trying to get 1,000 subs on this channel, so help me out there if you want. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about all this bullshit, alright? Peace be with you.